Great. So now we're going to learn how to manipulate the data. Remember these two functions, isMatrix and isDataFrame. These functions are intended to check if the data set inside the parenthesis is a matrix or a data frame. Just a little different function. This asMatrix is to convert something inside the parenthesis as a matrix. So even if this was a data frame, by this transition, it will become a matrix. So sample CSV data was actually a data frame. It returns true, right? But I'm going to convert this to a matrix by using asMatrix and then save it into the same bin. Now how we can check sample CSV data as data type is to use isMatrix function again. And now it returns true. So we successfully converted the type of this data set into a matrix. Ta-da! And now we're going to play with a matrix that I created here, A. Let's see what it looks like. So it has 2 rows, 3 columns, all data points are 1s. We have 6 total. And that's it. Let's just, as a recap, if we check if it is a matrix, it is a matrix. Maybe we can convert using this as data frame. Yeah. But this is actually interesting because if you look at the column names and row names, it's a little different, right? The same data points, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But then here, if it is a matrix that has this commas in front of your column names, and here columns behind your row names. So here is row numbers and column numbers because it's a matrix. And here data frame, you have column names, row names. This looks familiar. We already have seen this V1 thing in the first part, right? The first thing we can do with A is to transpose the data. See? This used to be 2 by 3 matrix, but then by using this T function that stands for transpose, it's now 3 by 2 matrix. Remember that I just transposed A. I did not save transpose A into A. So if I recall A, it's still 2 by 3 matrix. The last thing I'm gonna teach you is how to actually manipulate the data. Delete, add a row or a column, or rows or columns. But why do we need this? Sometimes maybe it has some dummy values in the first 5 rows or so, or maybe you want to select some time frame, and when you're using, especially when you're using the sensors, you have collected the data from Monday to Saturday, but you only want to take Tuesday to Thursday. In that case, you can just get rid of the both ends, and that's how you're gonna use these functions in the real situation. So let's see. So we have this 2 by 3 matrix. How can we remove a row? We can do it by using this minus sign in this matrix notation. So in R, matrix is called like this. So this is the matrix name, and the first part, the thing comes before a comma, is a row name, row number, and the thing that comes after the comma is a column. If it is blank, it means that you're gonna select everything in this. So this is blank, so this time it's gonna it refers to all the whole column. And if you do like this, you're just calling your first row, but then using this minus notation, you are deleting the first row. Let's see what happens here. So it used to be like this, but then by deleting this this first row, it's now a vector of 1, 1, 1s. This looks a little lonely, so I want to just add a row below this by using rbind function. Rbind function is to add a row, and R obviously stands for a row. So this is actually row bind, and then it has two entries. The first one is the matrix, and the second one is the new data points that you want to add to the first entry. So here I am actually adding 2, 2, 2 data points below this 1, 1, 1. So let's see what happens. Ta-da! I have 1, 1, 1 and 2, 2, 2. This is now again a matrix. What about the column? So similarly, I can use cbind function, stands for column bind, and then A is the first entry because I want to add something to A, and then the second entry is 2 and 3. I only have 2 data points because we only have 2 rows, right? And then I run this, and then A is now 2 by 4 matrix, and it has 2 and 3 in its fourth column. When we're using rbind, we have to match the number of existing the number of columns in the first entry to match with the number of data points that we add. That's just because we want to add something to existing data frame, and then matrix, but it has like this 2 by 3 frame, and then we want to abide by the rules. If we imagine if we had another 2 here, so 4 2s, but then here goes 2, 2, 2, and then the fourth 2, that one has no place to go. So just be careful about the number of rows and columns you have when you're using this rbind and cbind functions. This is the end of the second R tutorial video. I hope that this was helpful, and then good luck with your study and coding. Have fun with your homework.